So these guys are playing to get top 8 here for sure.
Yeah, this is win and end. Right?
Yeah. Winner of this match is 100% in the top 8.
And loser is basically 100% out.
And Brandon, I talked to him in between rounds. Brandon started out 0-1 and has clawed back 4-0.
Brandon was 0-1?
Brandon was 0-1.
Oh, wow.
And has
crazy.
clawed back 4-0.
I'm gonna... Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Tried to do it quick so it wasn't that loud, but it didn't work. Oopsie. DJ casted cards today, that's for sure. Did he play well today? Hello?
Sorry about that. Richard just dropped the mic. Can we mute that?
Technical difficulty. Mike just died on us.
Just mute my mic.
He
I
did.
did. I muted you.
Apologies for that. So Brandon, taking a look, gonna play a fetch land, Kraken.
I know. We found my crack on, so you can unmute me now, John.
Ren is the play. Go to ping Torak. Okay.
Nazis. Huh.
So we got Endurance, Ephemerate, 2 Prismatics, and a couple of lands.
And Brandon, make sure to tell him that Ren's not in my hand, by the way.
Can't get that.
It's a little unfortunate for Neil there, because being able to have played Torok and then Thoughtseize them would have made it big enough that it wouldn't die to the Ren.
Right.
And that might be what Brandon was playing around to make sure that he got rid of Torok.
Another one.
It would have been really big, actually. It'd been as big as kicked one.
And then running out of Noble, which probably might get another Ren tick down here. Yep.
And says, yeah, I'll take care of that one too. Might as well. These are the spots where like you're already making your land drop, so you don't mind taking it down and just taking care of the board.
Well, and that's why Neil was taking the removal. The prismatic endings aren't going to be able to take care of Tarmogoyf now, obviously, and I think he has another Tarmogoyf in hand. So Brandon might be facing down a couple of big graveyard haters, but he does have Endurance, though, in hand, which will be able to tuck one of the graveyards and shrink Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
Possibly could, I don't know.
I don't know how much it would
You call Goyf a graveyard hater?
No, Endurance, graveyard hate against the Goyf. Sorry
Oh, gotcha.
if I scrambled my words. Apologize. But see, there's sorcery and land in 1, so that would make it a 2/3. So if he tucks Neil's graveyard, because there's a creature over there. How's it a 4? Shouldn't it be a 3? Thoughtseize is a... There's land, sorcery, and creature.
Yeah. Rock doesn't have like a different type on it, right? Like it's not like a weird enchantment thing.
Can't get that land.
Oh wait, I forgot to shuffle the deck.
Yeah.
Oh well, it'll get recalibrated here anyway.
Yep, down to a 2.
I messaged the judge to have them check, but
Plus up, grab a windswept. Windswept might go fetch that basic forest that we wanted to grab earlier. Buy Yorion. Pass. No one's gonna allow this Tarmogoyf to attack for slightly more, potentially.
No, one thing that Brandon, he does have Ephemerate in hand. So he can always fetch a basic planes. Yeah, and that's Tarmogoyf number 2 that we saw in hand. So if he needs to shrink the Tarmogoyf, he can Ephemerate Endurance and tuck his own graveyard if he needs to. But
Which I believe the play on this spot with Neil not having any cards in hand could have been potentially to tuck his own Ben. Because that would shrink these Tarmogoyfs, but also get to kill one.
right.
But Ray might have another plan in mind. You get to take out this ignoble if you want to. You bought Yorion last turn.
Is it Endurance a 3/4?
yep, it got an exalted trigger.
Okay. So it itself was a 3/4 Exalted Trigger. Thank you. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute.
How did it die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil's empty-handed.
Thing here. Actually, these grow. Please don't fall off this time. It's just a pass. Neil's probably got to think something's up there, so we're going to fire our turn off with an Inquisition first. We get value off your Ephemerate. Now it's the time to do it, especially if it's the only card that he can hit anyway. Ice Fang Waddle. Draw, Cavern. Ephemerate, Ice Fang Waddle. So kind of a bad draw for Brandon, where like the first one was just a land.
Is Goyf went up to a 4/5, which it might be now because there's a walker.
Right.
But Ephemerate's not in the yard. Right? Isn't
No.
the only instant?
It's an instant.
Isn't that the only instant that's there right now, though?
Land, creature, sorcery, planeswalker. Oh, so now it's we're gonna check the Goyf math.
Yeah, people are thinking they're 4/5s. There we go. Yeah, they're 4/5s.
Does matter. That's a lot different damage numbers.
So Brandon taking the 8 damage down to 4. Wants to leave the ephemerate targets out there. Didn't want to block with any of them. So fetching down to 3. It's going to be interesting here to see if 4-color can stabilize. Ephemerate, draw for turn.
And it's kind of that spot I brought up before where, like, we had a chance to
Take one of those goifs out.
take one of the goifs out and also keep this one a ton smaller. Yeah, maybe you tuck all your fetches for Ren, but
He does have Yuri on here, so he can Yuri on, bounce everything, and then Endurance come back in and tuck his own grave. Or yeah. Which would shrink the goifs down to a 2.
does buy a land. Has a Magus in hand. Magus is also good in terms of, like, against Neil, who would only have mountains. Not gonna really be able to do anything with those. He swings.
To me, that means he's gonna play Yuri on.
Yeah. I flickered them all because that adds loyalty to Ren.
If the ice got flickered, it does not have haste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let Tango.
Yeah, Ice Fang got ephemerated at the beginning of upkeep, so it cannot attack. Thank you. I believe now they're resolving Yorion, cleaning up the end step. These things come back into play. Endurance. Brandon's going to tuck his own graveyard, shrinking Tarmogoyf down to 2/2s.
2/3s.
2/3s, excuse me.
They're
Yeah.
2/2s. They'd be really bad.
Bulk Mythic.
It would come in as a 0/0.
Right? Yep, and I'll have to get the Ren loyalty here.
That's yeah, okay. I mean, to be fair, that's if he even figured it, I guess, because he could have not, in theory. But I don't see why he wouldn't.
And that's enough of a stabilizing for Neil to say let's move on and not draw this out. Start getting next game in.
Round 6 again. Whoever wins this match is guaranteed in the top 8. Darren could probably check for us on how important that is to either of these players. I don't know if either have an invite
Yeah.
or basically guaranteed based on how many points they have.
Let me look.
I feel like Neil has an invite. I could be wrong there though.
He doesn't have an invite, but he's 15th on the leaderboard with
So he's
22
pretty much
points.
guaranteed either way.
He's very high on the point total. He's the 4th overall point leader that like isn't qualified. And then let me look up Brandon. Oh, that's not the right Brandon. This must be Brandon's first tournament.
So that'll be huge for Brandon to come down here and
Just spike the event.
make the top 8 and end up getting an invite. Because again, looking at the top 8, there's going to be 3 or 4 players in the top 8 that have already qualified.
Yeah. So it's very possible. If you don't know, invites pass down to the next highest place at that tournament. So if first and second place have already earned an invite, then like third and fourth place would get the invite, and so on. If all of top 8 has an invite already, then ninth and 10th place would get the
in the
invite.
world where you don't make top 8, but you still get an invite.
It's technically possible, but
Which is kind of crazy to think about.
because I mean,
But, like, that's what happens.
like Dylan, Gabriel, Snyder, like those guys have all already, Ryan Hayes, those guys have all already qualified, and they could top 8 here.
Yeah. And then where do you go from there, Like, they're all top 8. Say they get first through 4, well,
Right.
now 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yep, 5th and 6th would get them. Turn 3, Lily, plussing to discard. Veil of Summer going to be the discard for Brandon, and Neil is pitching a Ignoble.
Well, then if you do play against these type of decks, one thing, if you haven't watched Magic a ton, one thing you gotta do whenever you're playing against a Lily, don't show the card you're discarding.
Tell both players at the
Tell
same
both
time,
players,
right?
please.
Giving
It's one of the
away
hard things
information.
to show, like, some new players sometimes they just like throw the card in the bin, and it's like, well, that kind of changed my decision, but because I know you're new, I a lot of times will still do whatever.
Right.
But like, it's like, please, if you pick first, do what Neil did, set it face down, and wait until your opponent picks, because you're saying I'm discarding this no matter what you discard. So, small thing. A lot of times won't matter, but still matters. Liliana uptick again. Flashing Ice Fang Quaddle. In response to the Lily. Glad to see Lily get unbanned after Luris got banned. So, that's always nice. Some people might not like that because they don't like discard decks, but
I like to see the variation. I like to see more than one card being played.
yeah, especially different play styles. Liliana with all these like, not even specifically 4-color, but like 4-color, Murktide, like Faust, like all these decks around drawing a ton of cards. You have this deck out here. It's like, what if I make everybody discard? Even myself. I'm not just targeting you. I'm discarding too. It's just like a different play. Prismatic Ending on Lily. It's gone.
Brandon says, I've had enough of this. Stop making me discard.
Threat!
That's a troll.
That's a troll.
That's a troll.
I don't blame you for having to read that one, Brandon. A lot of people do.
Chat, we have a troll sighting. Third one today. Second one from Neil.
Not. The middle text kind of doesn't matter. It's actually just hexproof. It's been around. It's just what hexproof is. So. Darren just has that ability. Renin 6 a pretty good play for Brandon. Especially the other thing Renin, well, never mind. It's not fetching the bin, so it's a little
Yeah,
Not
because the
good.
first fetch got exiled by the Dothy.
I guess, more or less what I was saying is pretty good whenever you can get a fetch land with Ren, obviously. But whenever there's a Liliana potentially on the other side, because that means any land that you draw is just like free discard to Liliana, because
Right.
Ren can just pick it back up.
Animating Hive.
Getting rid of the Omnath. Exile part a little less relevant in this matchup overall, but
All of the damage went upstairs. So Brandon down to 10.
Risen Reef. It looks like Brandon has 5 lands, but he only has 3. All these abundant growths out here
Yep.
running amok.
Plusing Ren, no targets. I'm a little surprised that the Coddle didn't stay back to block, though.
Land I want to say has menace.
It does have Menace. And does
Wait.
Thrun have a line that says it can't be blocked?
No, but the idea is that a lot of times when you want to block the Ice Fang Quanto, it'll have Death Touch.
Right, but I
But
mean,
like
still.
also saving you 4 life is pretty good.
Right, because 7 damage to the dome is... Okay. Brandon's just going to Solitude.
Oh yeah, never mind. You can just play Solitude. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Neil gains some life. Risen Reef trigger. Puts a Beseiju onto the battlefield.
So now 16-6.
I didn't think Shane was there doing the life total, so I tried to do it myself, and then he also did it.
Tearing out here, causing a ruckus. Here's Shane was probably so confused out there. Like, why'd I go to 2?
Another Risen Reef. That's some...
And this is where this deck just gets hard to beat. Now, you stumble for a couple of turns to get a Risen Reef. Any elemental they cheat into play, basically the downside is negated. Get it for 2 more.
Okay, the Teferi in the graveyard is supposed to be exiled. I'll text the judge out there.
Yep, we'll have our judge clean it up. Fetching down to 5. Getting a basic. Teferia is now exiled.
Bro, sure why. It's because it was used as pitch fodder to the Solitude.
Right. I see it looks like a grist and maybe a land in hand for Neil. See what Neil can come up with. The value off the Risen Reefs definitely needs to be dealt with, but also just getting the damage through would be huge. Tarmogoyf?
Ice Fang Quaddle. Still missing the Death Touch.
Right.
No, it does, right? Because he's got 2 Ice Fang. Well, let me read Ice Fang again. How many permanents is it?
3.
Doesn't he have 2 Ice Fangs and a Snowland?
He does have a Snowland.
It doesn't count itself.
3 other, my bad. Yep.
That'd be sick if it counted itself.
Yeah.
Grist milling over a Dothy, creating an insect. Pass. So Brandon able to chump that damage. Think Ren paying the insect here.
Alright. This camera just stayed being bumped, huh?
Yeah. Well, Brandon was leaning forward earlier, and it was
So it was like
lined up
fine.
fine, but is kind of leaning back now.
The one thing Thrun can do is regenerate itself. So if Neil leaves mana open, he can still attack into the Ice Fang Coddles and it'll survive because he can regenerate it. Problem is, it's just a clock that, Neil needs to win before Elementals stabilizes.
Yeah, and he doesn't have much time. 2 Risen Race will make it stabilize pretty quick. In terms of just pure card draw. And I guess it's not even technically card draw. It's card put in hand. Which will just help him eventually find an Omnath. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana?
Yeah, but one's a flooded strand, right?
Well, one's Flooded Strand and a Misty. So
Right.
it's not like easy mana.
Nope.
Kind of put yourself in danger with that.
Solitude exiled land. It exiled the Hive of the Eye Tyrant.
The judge in the feature match has 13-5, so I'm not sure why the.
I would say Brandon just didn't update his phone sitting there. Neil has 13. I can see it on his pad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Witherbloom command. Target opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2.
And then,
Yep, and Brandon just updated his phone there.
Oh, it's to destroy the permanent with mana value 2 or less.
Yeah, that or the -3, -1. Either one would have worked there.
So now we're down to 2.
So that's destroy target non-creature, non-land?
Alright, yeah. So it's -3, -1.
Oh,
I
right.
missed the non-creature part,
Yeah.
sorry.
Why am I doing that?
Which is really cool because that means in this deck for Neil that he can actually, it's just straight up removal for a card like Red 6.
So, tapping 3. Endurance. Tuck the graveyard. Triggers. Land. Gonna throw a Risen Reef in front of it. And there's the Tarmogoyf. Plus Grist, make an insect.
Trying to go
This-
wide.
Yeah, the Yorion is going to come down this turn though, and just
really change the pace of the game.
yeah. Because Ren, I mean, you got to think first. Ren's going to pick off the insect, and then Yorion's going to come down and go. Bleh.
Yeah. Insect gone.
Yeah, Chatter asked a question, aren't using the phones not allowed, and they did change that rule when Companion app was added. You can use your phone to keep score, and there's also you can look up Oracle text on your phone from the app. It's actually pretty useful, honestly. So, Yorion triggers in step. Brandon's going to tuck his graveyard, shrinking Tarmogoyf. And Risen Reef says draw 2. It's so ridiculously good. Did he not decide not to flicker the abundant growths?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. The one abundant growth is attached to that basic planes, I'm pretty sure. Unless he has them on top of the card. Actually, I think that's how he's had it the whole time, so I think it might be on the cavern. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's on top, but that's a Misty right there.
He set the Misty there afterward.
Right, and that's what I was thinking. He would flicker him and then attach it to the fetch so he doesn't have to fetch.
Yeah. Or, yeah.
Assassin's Trophy, taking care of Yorion, getting a basic.
Project Dre, it doesn't matter how you stack the triggers from Risen Reef, Endurance, plus Endurance triggering Risen Reef. They're all going to trigger. They all see each other enter. Or Risen Reef sees Endurance enter no matter what.
I feel like, yeah, the pressure here is still a real thing. You know, this game's been a lot of time taken by Brandon, and Neil just keeps swinging, trying to get this damage through. If this insect could live for Neil, it would be able to remove the endurance, the blocker. But it can't ever live because Ren just keeps pinging him down. What's interesting here though is Neil does have reach, because Witherbloom Command is essentially like a burn spell. You lose 2, I gain 2.
So what Neil probably wanted is the fact that his insect can stay alive now, potentially.
Yeah, so 1 damage to the grist, and that's I'm not
If
sure.
this is a fury or something, then what I said's a lie, and you don't have to listen to me.
Could be. That's Solitude maybe, or yeah, I think I see a Fury in hand.
Guess that's pretty good at picking up the insect.
Right.
Yeah, and he had to put some damage on Grist, or
Right.
this all just ends the game.
So Fury can trade with the troll. Grist is gone, but the troll can regenerate itself, and Fury would be gone. See what happens here. Fetch land, it's not going to do a whole lot. So he can crack one of them. Pithing Needle.
So okay, I
Yep.
will regenerate.
Brandon's cycling a Triumph. Pithing Needle is naming Ren. That's what Neil pointed to.
It was all juke. You pointed there and said fairy.
Right? Mind games. Prismatic ending in hand? Maybe a Solitude, I'm not sure.
Neil's
But
hand
Solitude
is.
can't target. I mean, it can block.
Yep. So Neil's hand's not that great. It was just land ignoble, and then he drew another land, so he felt obligated to play at least one of them.
And Brandon scooping it up. Just the beatdown of the troll eventually getting there.
But yeah, if Connor, Damien, they like 3-3 and make top 32, that's really big for them. Damien looks like he went 2-3-1, so that's probably not going to be a top 32 for him.
Ever since he lost the hardened scales, he's been down in the dirt, huh, Kyle?
Yeah, we did a thing to him last night. So, Thoughtseize, Unholy Heat, Bolt, Coddle. It's some removal.
Yeah, might depend on what Neil has here. If he's more worried about the removal spells, if he wants to get his threats to stick, but it looks like he's going to take Coatl.
Yeah, wants to stop Brandon from, valuing,
Right.
essentially.
It's going to make his Yorion worse later. Gives him less redraws at like hitting land drops. And
Well, I think one of his threats was Tarmogoyf, and it's already out of bolt range.
right, and heat range until Delirium's on.
Right. And and remember that spell hits the graveyard, that's already 4 different,
Right, once the instant hits.
Right.
Yeah.
but still he heats 6 with Delirium, so
It can get out of heat range.
right.
And this
6/7
this matchup, you got
Plane-
artifacts and enchantments and
planeswalkers and yep.
Oh, that's a good top deck. That's a really good top deck.
Lily.
Oh, good.
Lily in hand for Neil, and I think that's why one reason Neil was looking at getting rid of those coddles. Fetching up another Triumph. So Grist is the play for Neil. Gonna come down, plus flip over a card. Witherbloom command. Gonna make an insect. Flashing in a coddle for Brandon. Draw that card. Untap, play land for Brandon. Let's see what the play is. He says no insect for you. Coddle Bolt. I just don't see either player winning this one in time. The only thing I thought that could possibly happen would be Neil getting like Goif early and getting him out of hand and just being able to hit, but doesn't appear to be.
Torok also might be able to do it.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see here is a kick to Torok.
These cards get discarded at random.
Right, and Unholy Heat won't be able to kill it.
It also might get discarded.
Right.
Please know it's random.
I think they're having a.
Turok needs 3 black.
Oh, Torok needs. Hold on.
Yeah,
Taryn, good luck. I'm also being summoned.
kicker is double black. They're getting the judge. Sorry, guys.
Good damn, you can't figure out that pen.
They're with a draw. What is the outcome change for standings? Oh, that is very hard to tell at this point. Right now, it looked like only 1-4-1-1 would make it. But possibly if these guys draw, then 2-4-1-1s would make it, but it would also add 2-4-1-1s to that pool. So okay, looks like they're gonna be able to rewind. I don't know. It looks like the judge took care of it. I don't know, guys. Players were okay with that, and the judge took care of it. So I'm gonna assume that it was okay. I honestly don't know what to tell you. Looks like this is turn 1.
Yeah.
Inquisition away the endurance. Brandon shows the land in hand.
No land draw. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, normally what would happen is the board state is just left, and it happened and it missed, but apparently the judge determined that they could back up, and the players were okay with that, and they did it. So we're on turn 2 now, and Brandon is attacking. And sometimes that happens. A judge will try to make a ruling, and the players won't give all the info or won't be able to, and the judge can make a misinformed ruling off of that. And the other thing is, we have this on video, but there's very specific writing that says that you cannot go back and look at like video footage to make a ruling, and at a non Pro Tour level, right? Like when it's not WotC themselves, like you're not supposed to do that. So
It's not even that you're not supposed to. You literally can't. Not allowed to. My cards.
yeah, you're not allowed to use instant replay or anything. But yeah, we'll make sure we do have, like, the judges can obviously review the footage and stuff for themselves and to try to improve, later, just to make sure if a mistake was made that. So they were, what would they say out there? Were they would have backed it up and stuff? The players seemed to not stop after you went out.
I don't know. I got the judge and showed Shane. He walked over and looked at it, and I had to handle another thing up at the front.
Oh, gotcha.
So I actually took off.
Okay.
It might have been too far gone. I don't know what the ruling was. We'll have to ask Shane. Did it stay on the battlefield?
No, they backed up, but their chat anyways is saying that there was too much information revealed, and there was a fetch, and the deck got shuffled, and so they shouldn't have been able to back up. But
Oh, okay. Might not have been a.
so I'm not sure. It looked like Brandon got it. Oh no, wait. It might have been a tie too. I'm honestly not sure. I'm asking. Draw. It's a draw.
Okay.
It was a draw. Yeah, Neil chumped. It was turn 5. That's okay.